This is Paul. Yeah, it's 2:36. Um, it kind of took my time as I was walking up here. Yeah, I was really thinking about this Levitical priesthood of Aaron, and I just thought I'd read a little bit more about this Exodus. I sent some emails, and it looks to me like those that are sheriffs and police officers, they don't really appreciate what's known as family. Now, I documented that you issued court orders that have forgeries, fraud, yeah, misrepresentation, and then you made up crimes, bogus crimes, where I wasn't in Swim, Washington, I wasn't in Brennan, but you wouldn't admit the evidence. The whole thought was, well, um, you're just you're just going to cover up all your crimes. You're going to say that I was in a city when you know I wasn't. You're going to say that I was in another city when you know I was not in that city. Now, I found this somewhat interesting in reading Leviticus. Yeah. Um, the Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. Now, let's say you decide to make war against God because you're a sheriff or a police officer. And I told you about an act of God yesterday, and you decided, no, we're just going to fight against God right now. That's what you're doing. You're fighting against God. Now, obviously, I'm not God. But when I document the evidence of fraud, forgery, coercion, and you sit there every day saying, well, we don't care who he is. We are not going to enforce the laws of the United States. Now, do you remember this where I had emailed the Port Angeles Police Department? Judge Porter had requested my presence in court, and my name was mentioned when I wasn't there. Yeah. And I emailed, well, what should I respond as a citizen of the United States? And he decided to arrest me. Put me in jail for 27 days, obligate me to have a mental health evaluation where I'm schizophrenic and bipolar. For thinking that, you have to have an actual signature of the petitioner. The petitioner has to appear in court. Yes. And you do have to do what the instructions for an order of protection require. Yeah. Now, I know you're a judge. You're sitting there on your bench. It's your court. You Judge Landis. Sets the bail at $5,100,000. Sends it again to the wrong address, 1023 Kitchen Dick Road. 1023 Kitchen Dick Road. And your thought is, well, I'm the judge. I'm the judge. I'm sitting on a seat. It's not an actual bench. It's kind of like one of these easy chairs. Yeah. It's similar to the kind of chair that you would have in an office. I had offices and I sat in chairs similar to the chairs that you sit in. Now, the defendant, the state of Washington, to all peace officers, yeah, could you get me the state troopers in every state of the United States? I'm going to sue every state employee that has a badge on that is obligated to enforce the laws. Now, I did inform the Washington State Patrol of forgery and fraud, and they decided to listen to Sheriff Bill Benedict or Chief of Police Bill Dixon or Chief of Police Terry Gallagher. Yes, he's a homeless man. We recognize he is an American citizen. Now, every state trooper right now, because listen, big dog, I give you the evidence of actual crime. I email the state patrol tens of thousands of times. You decide to obstruct my emails when the law requires the order to say if the respondent received notice of the hearing and by what method. Now, for, well, the idiots in the State Patrol that thought, right? You're fucking stupid. You should never obstruct an email from a citizen. You should not listen to a sheriff or police chief, when they lie about what they're involved in. Now, this database used by law enforcement so any officer in the state knows of it? Yes. Could somebody look in the law enforcement database for a protection order that was issued on July 31st of 2015? Could those in every state patrol, listen, you idiots, could every state patrol in every state of the United States look in the law enforcement data entry database used by law enforcement for a protection order that was issued, by Clallam County on July 31st of 2015? Now, you would say you're in another state. As we know, the WACIC is connected to the NCIC, the National Crime Information Center. Yes. And in that, the FBI has a record of every protection order issued. Now, this protection order did not have the name of the petitioner. No. Didn't have a date of birth. Nope. No name of the respondent, no date of birth, and it had misrepresentation and fraud that the restrained person had actual notice and opportunity to be heard. Now, I've already mentioned this WACIC and NCIC, and now I'm going through every state database of every protection order. All protection orders require the protections of due process to the respondent. Yes. You're getting sued. You're getting sued because the truth of the matter is it's still on the WACIC, isn't it? Sheriff. There's a fraudulent statement that I had actual notice and opportunity to be heard. There's the fraudulent statement that I represented a credible threat to the physical safety of the protected party or children because the protected party has had my sons in the wrong grade for 7.5 fucking years. Poop. I've never been a credible threat to Heidi Lee Budnick, and I was never a credible threat to my 5 sons. Now, when you go through the database in each and every state, I'm going to want to know the actual location of every state patrol building in every state of the United States. Now, I know you work there, right? I don't give a fuck who you are. I really don't. You got a badge on and you're a big fucking idiot right now. Now, I'm going to want to know, okay, every employee of every state patrol that has access to every statewide database of all protection orders. Well, that would be all of those that can enforce the laws. Then I'm going to want to know every state that has access to the NCIC that does have a record of the protection order that was issued where there is no actual due process to the respondent. Where these 5 minors named are in the wrong grades and more than likely. Now, for every idiot in every state patrol, I'm going to sue every one of you. Every state patrol. Now, you issue a fraudulent court order where there is no due process, there is no service by mail, publication, or personal service, right? You issue it for 10 years. There is forgery, yes, on it, yes. and then you entered it into the statewide database of the Washington State Criminal Investigation Center.
Yeah.
Then that goes into the NCIC. Now, we're going to spend the next hour and 15 minutes.